Hey, it's Romy. Welcome to the channel, Pisces. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a Pisces sun, rising or moon, then this is a general reading for the month of November, but it might resonate for you. The intuitive guidance and energy forecast is designed to help you navigate the influences that are coming up. So let's jump right in and see what is in store in November. Okay, Pisces, so we're moving through Scorpio, a fellow water sign. And the sense of the month of November for you, I get, is flow and fruition. We are going to see the energy building really nicely as we come towards the end of the month. We're going to witness Mercury moving direct on the 3rd, followed by Mars on the 14th, and finally Neptune, which is in your sign right now, direct on the 28th. This is going to make a big difference in terms of just feeling like you are awakening your muse again. You are feeling a little bit more motivation and a little bit more drive and energy to get things done, and probably a sense of urgency actually, that between now and the end of the year there's a lot to do. Clarity comes, and as part of this charge that you're going to be feeling, I'm really understanding from the guides today that the philosophy that you have on life has been changing, and that actually what this might mean for you is that November brings some really interesting redirections. Now that's okay, because it feels like it's coming about in some ways quite naturally, and perhaps sort of taking you by surprise in some regards. You know, you might really be pleasantly curious about the direction and some of the signs that start to show up for you through this month. The other thing that comes up is that things come in threes, okay? So I want you to pay close attention to where that's going to be true for you through this month of November, okay? And I want to earn more on the positive with this, okay? So there are likely to be messages and some significant major news coming your way. I think a lot of this will happen more quickly as we move toward the end of November. Remember, when we go direct, when some of these planets that have been backspinning station direct, they can be a little bit chaotic and a little bit disruptive. We also have the 3rd of the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction, April 3rd and June 30th. So this is the final part of the story. And this trilogy has taught you a lot about expansion, about transformation, about power and influence, both in the collective but also within yourself. So we open up your reading, Pisces, with the 7 of Cups, an energy that you are very familiar with. And like we said, as your muse awakens with Neptune moving direct, I feel like there are a lot more choices on the table than you have been able to enjoy for a good part of this year. That's exciting, but at the same time, it might feel a little bit overwhelming. And it's important that we gain some sense of groundedness to our outlook so that we are making choices that are right, not just for the here and now, but giving us a good, strong advantage in the weeks and months to come. Yeah, so the new moon in Scorpio coming in on the 15th of the month, activating your 9th house of expansion, of higher learning, of international travel and connections. And I think that this is about opening up your world, broadening your horizon, and giving you that opportunity to feel like anywhere in your life that's felt limited is now going to start to get moving and get flowing. And I really like this. You are in a moment where I feel you're about to take a really important step. You may have already just done that, or November's certainly kind of preparing you for that step to come, Pisces. With that can just be a little bit of second guessing and some doubt that's going to surface. It's understandable. I think you've also learned a really valuable lesson or two specifically connected to one or two individuals in your pathway through this year. And it's maybe just that, you know, you've learned how not to do something, or by way of the connection, the influence, or what you've been through as a result of a relationship, either personal or professional, has had a really profound impact on you. And it's really made you question and consider and look at things in a very different light. But what's nice is that this choice of the heart that I feel, and I say choice of the heart not necessarily because it is connected romantically, although for some of you that may be the case, but it is really just about linking into something that you do feel extraordinarily passionate about. And that matters, because where you want to be investing your time, energy, your love, your your positivity, all of your ideas. You want to know that there's something fruitful that can come from that. But remember, this theme for you this month, flow and fruition. The more you can flow, the more you can move through those clear waters and understand that every time you think something positive, every time you take an action that is aligned with what your higher self is wanting, that it feels good, it feels satisfying to your soul, then you are absolutely moving in the right direction. So we open up with a 777 as well. Of course, very spiritual number for you, and you know that ancient wisdom that is being tapped into at the moment as we move into new frequencies is incredibly fast-paced actually. And I think that there are times when you're kind of almost holding on to something, to someone from the past. And you know, it's interesting, it's like we want to let go of the wounds. We want to let go of tough memories or loss or those difficult circumstances that have perhaps, you know, kept us in a vortice of energy or in a specific way of thinking. And then when the energy does shift and we do have time to progress and start to really think about what we want and, you know, start to feel into a very different kind of vibration, we can almost go into a little bit of a panic, almost have that little bit of tailspin energy, because we feel so comfortable at times in that place of heartache, of loss, of wound energy. So there's a little bit of a mindfulness that you need to pay attention to, that you don't lose yourself back into something. Now, what I'm also sensing with that Three of Swords coming through, I mean, we talk about this month being, you know, a really significant time for clarity coming through, and strongly, okay, as all these planets move direct, really opening up. When we move into that second half of the month and you are feeling the pull and you are feeling the urgency, you can see how all of these strings are kind of almost pulling the heart apart. There's something about you being pulled in multiple directions, Pisces, and that might cause a bit of upset. The way this could play out for some of you is just that you simply can't you can't keep everybody happy, or you're having to make a sacrifice, you're having to make a compromise that means that someone or something has to be let go of, or perhaps you have to walk away or make a decision to draw a line in the sand. It's not easy. It isn't easy. And when I feel into your choice of the heart and your understanding of what it is that you need to do, how you need to move forward in this instance, I can feel the conflict that's taking place, you know, the hesitancy, the uncertainty. And yet, I just feel you can't go against your own flow. You just can't. So I see that you will be able to move past this, and I do see that you will be able to find some way of resolving what's within your heart, and also having those conversations and communications with the people that you need to make sure that you articulate and come from a place of demonstrating why you're taking the action or why you're making the decision that you are. You know, you just can never keep everybody happy. You're never going to be able to find that equilibrium like all the time. Card of the Hermit coming in, because I think really the counsel that you need to take is with your own higher self, with your own guides right now, and you probably need to take a moment to step back and just really reflect upon that. You've already come so far. Look at the journey that you've taken, but the place that you now sit atop that mountain with the view that you have over, you know, the course of 2020, what it's delivered, what it's taught you, how you've changed within yourself, but also what you now want for yourself. And I think that's rooting in really strongly at this point in November, and there's really no stopping you now. There's no holding you back. And I think you understand that even between now and the end of the year, there are things that you have to do. There are changes that must be implemented. There are shifts that are happening that you have to honour. And I think that there is this sense of preparing yourself for that, and being really ready to do what it takes, you know. Now on the 21st, Venus moves into the sign of Scorpio, so where we are connecting into relationships, We want to bond, we want to have that deep sense of intimacy, and yet here I have the Hermit looking a little bit detached, looking a little bit isolated. So for some of you, you may find that even though your desire is to want to get closer, there may also be this conflicting aspect of you that also needs more space. That's okay, you know, and you might kind of oscillate between the two quite strongly through this month of November, because I just feel there is going to be a lot happening. And if you are dealing with trying to make important decisions and really figuring out what's not only best for you, but really best for everybody, and it may just be that you have to look at the majority of kind of what you feel is going to be that right way, you know. I feel a bit of a burden on your shoulders in a way. There's a lot on your plate from that regard. The thing with the Hermit though is that the time spent, you know, and sometimes I kind of label this like a sacred loneliness, because, you know, loneliness has an attachment with it of a, you know, almost like a slightly negative connotation, and yet when we go into those Hermit moments, there's something that changes in our energy. There's something about the way that we connect into our own essence. And when we come out of these times, we are profoundly changed in some way. Our way of thinking, our resolve, you know, how we've come to a decision, or you know, the information and the wisdom that comes to light is so important. So it is a really sacred time. So if you feel that sense of isolation or loneliness in moments through this month, rest assured it's giving you something far more valuable that you need for this next stage of the journey, okay? Now the Hermit does also link into Virgo energy, so that might be pertinent to some of you. We've also got a little bit of Earth energy coming in with that Seven of Pentacles. I'm feeling from a work perspective, again, there's choices here, and it's about the investments that you're trying to make and wanting to get the right feel, you know. But Empress coming in at the center of your reading is beautiful. She links into Taurus. She's also connected into Venus. So let's just go back to that Venus placement in Scorpio for a moment, because here we are prepared to dive deep. You know, we want profound transformation. So, you know, whether we're transforming our money story, our outlook in terms of what we want to surround ourselves with, that material possession and the way that might be changing. And in those relationships that we have, the Empress is incredibly nurturing. She has that sense of wanting to sit in that place of giving and receiving, and allowing a constant continual flow of abundance to happen. For you to find that level of openness and that level of empowerment and that level of certainty, so that you can take that position and not feel threatened and not feel drained, then something that you learn in this time that you're working with the Hermit is important. It matters. I think that's why the highlight here and that message is coming through so strongly, okay? But the Empress certainly denotes to me that there are some really wonderful things that are making their way towards you, and that you're, like we said, your creativity, your muse awakening very powerfully. Major news coming in that I feel is connected to how you're going to be looking after someone or something moving forward, okay? And remember, this year was about, you know, delivering a really profound karmic clear up. So you're going to be witnessing this all around you at the moment, and seeing for yourself the way in which things are starting to knit together in ways that you know, perhaps you couldn't have envisaged at all at the beginning of this year. So Seven of Wands comes in because there is this need for you to find a little bit of fight and a little bit of courage, but at the same time not lose your center, not lose your peace. You know, she sits in this very still yogic position. Her solar plexus is illuminated here, and she almost has this beautiful sacred bubble of protection around her. Like I said, there's a lot coming at you, and I kind of feel, again, the way to combat just feeling like you're being pulled in multiple directions, and, you know, in some ways just finding that stretch really difficult. How do you balance that out? It is by stepping back and asserting a stronger boundary, but also having the courage of your conviction. This is not a month to back down, Pisces, yeah? This is a time when you really are supposed to assert yourself. Remember, that third act in the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction has taught you something. What has it taught you? This is the closure. This is the clearing out of that energy. You know, as we make our way towards the end of the month, there is a powerful lunar eclipse in the sign of Gemini. And it's into your 4th house of home, of family, the locations in which you move and work. How is that impacting you? So card of justice coming in does link into a Libra energy, but does also talk to me about the way that you're trying to balance things out in your world. And I think that this is really what's happening. You know, there's a sense of urgency, there's choices to make, you're moving forward, there's a lot of momentum. With it is still a little bit of mayhem. You know, October has been full of it, and I'm sure it's going to be round, you know, a little bit into the start of November as all of these planets are stationing direct, and we're kind of dealing with the shifts as that happens. But, you know, there's something that comes through here that says, you know, you have the support, you have something favorable in your corner. And I see that if you need to fight for something, if there is anything legal, always best to wait till after those planets have moved direct. You are going to be supported and find that there's more information that comes to light. I think that's kind of interesting as well, because with Mars moving direct in Aries into your 2nd house of value, you know, there may be some money stories. And remember, Mercury moves direct in the sign of Libra, your 8th house. So there's definitely, you know, I think some stuff going on that's still shifting and changing in and around your finances through this month. Now, when we approach that lunar eclipse at the end of November, Pisces, be aware if you have a couple of options on the table or you're trying to make a decision, okay, and we do see things coming to fruition. There's something, look at that Empress energy, there's something that's just ready to be birthed, that's absolutely at the right moment in the cycle. It's a fantastic time for launching, creating, anything to do with business toward that end of November and into December for you. But what we are also seeing is that there could be an absolute left field option that's not yet revealed itself. Remember, I said things come in threes, so just pay attention and try and keep an open mind about things, okay? Because what the universe has in store to help balance something out for you may at this moment in time not even be on your radar, okay? Knight of Wands wants to come in, and it does ignite the fire. It gives you a reason and a purpose. And I'm feeling in for some of you in terms of relationships. This might mean just like having a little bit more lightness, a little bit more fun, a little bit more impulsiveness, just to change things up a little bit. So if you're in a committed relationship, it's like, what can you do to change it? That's what needs to happen as the energy shifts so profoundly towards the end of the month. That's also going to loosen some stress that I feel might come in with some of the choices and the ways that you're being invited to handle things. And for those of you that are single or kind of dealing with more complex relationship situations, I see you just kind of like freeing yourself up a little bit and trying to go a bit lighter in the energy, okay? Knight of Wands is a messenger though, and is very favorable when you want that burst of something to get moving, to get going. And when Mars goes direct, you will have a lot more motivation and drive than you've had. You know, this year we've had more planets retrograde than usual. We've also had more eclipses, and we're moving into that 3rd season. So, you know, there's just been so much that has come at you relentlessly throughout the entire year. 5 of Cups comes in as, I think, just a little reminder, you know, it's the reminder that we take everything with us, you know, so trying to escape, trying to move, trying to feel like if I take that one thing out of my life, all of a sudden everything will be better, isn't always the right approach, you know. If we have something we've not dealt with, or if we have something that's still within us and wants to be acknowledged, then, you know, we carry that forward no matter what the situation. And I think especially as you're trying to give yourself the opportunity for some fresh starts or to begin a new chapter in different areas, you know, doing that work on the self is so important, because, you know, you don't want to take any of the energy into something new. And, you know, this is a time to really, like we said last month, like breathe in that sacred value for who you are and how you've changed and what you deserve at this point. So a little bit of a check-in to make sure that you're not holding on to anything that you shouldn't be. I mean, certainly there is a sense through this reading of that bumping up against the energy of loss, but I feel like it could be the reminder as these planets come out of retrograde and really showing you actually how far you've come and the way in which you've invited in so much healing around that as well, okay? What I love about this particular depiction of the Five of Cups is the night sky is clear. You know, you can see all of these stars, and actually it links quite beautifully into the sky that the hermit is looking at as well. And in a way, you know, this quiet reflective time with the Five of Cups and the hermit, you know, it is important that you go back over things that you've experienced and what you've been through, because, you know, giving yourself that frame of reference and that context is then what you build new resiliency, new strength, new understanding, new conscious awakening to who you are and to patterns that you have in your life and what it is that you're looking for and seeking, you know. So November is a time where a lot gets moving, and you're going to feel the rush of that. And if you can stay in your flow, you're going to start to see an awful lot come to fruition for you, and some of it quite quickly, and some of it in a way that demonstrates to you that you have made right choices and decisions along the way, okay? So it should be something that you take some time to celebrate within yourself, okay? This sense of your philosophy on life kind of changing, like we said, might also bring some interesting new connections into your life, some interesting new opportunities. And I'm kind of curious to see where that goes for you. So your Oracle card, 3-3, like we said, a lot of threes coming in for you this month. I think it's going to be a power number for you, so pay attention. That Empress, also number 3, is purity. Purity. And, you know, she sits beneath the surface here with all of the kind of icicles in a almost a place of like sacred rest, like linking into that hermit. But here we have this beautiful white stallion above the surface, charging forward. You know, horses are about freedom. The sense of purity is about cleansing yourself, freeing yourself of, you know, different kinds of energy and emotions so that you can allow that forward movement. You know, threes are about time for giving birth to things, of coming together, of collaboration, of creation, you know. But that beautiful sense of purity is about helping you to find the right tone, the right sound, the right bead of energy, so that you can navigate through anything that feels complex. Now, that horse charges through a winter scene, which suggests that, you know, sometimes the landscape can be a little bit inhospitable, and yet, you know, beneath the surface there are still places that we can find respite, okay? And I'm not even worried about these icicles. They don't look threatening. In fact, I think they just bring light and illumination into this quiet space that she finds herself in, okay? So just understand that even as you navigate through what might be challenging circumstances through the next few weeks, as you have to come to decisions, choices, conclusions, there's plenty of support and respite that's going to be available for you. And remember, this is all in the name of freedom, of liberation, of moving forward. And within that, a sense of just freeing yourself of some sort of burden, which is really beautiful. Let's take a look at the moon card for you, Pisces. Believe in the impossible, blue moon. Okay, well, the blue moon, I'm actually recording this in October, so we haven't yet had that full moon of the 31st, which is a blue moon. So pay close attention to what is happening in and around that very powerful lunar cycle, and see where it's inviting you to believe in something far more extraordinary than you've ever given yourself permission to this point. We also have kind of what looks like a winter scene sort of linking into this energy again, okay? So, you know, coming into, in the northern hemisphere, that time in the winter where, you know, this is about regeneration. It's time for rest, and it's a time for everything to go a little bit quiet as a brand new cycle starts. But again, the full moon, something coming to fruition, something at its point of ripeness and fullness. It's ready. You're ready. You're ready for something, Pisces. If you don't already know what that is, I think November is going to show it to you really powerfully. And there's an excitement that's building for how that's going to change your life, and it's going to come in and afford you the possibilities of things that always felt perhaps just that little bit out of your reach. But with that courage and with that knowingness, I just see you moving forward to do really amazing things for yourself. So this is a general reading, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If it resonates, and please do check back in with the reading through the month, because sometimes these messages unfold as the energies change, Pisces. If you'd like to join me for the extended version, I'm going to go ahead and pull us some additional clarifying cards right now. So I'm just going to invite you to think about a question that might not have been answered in the main spread here, and we will pull us a couple of cards for that one just now. Okay, and then we will just clarify this main reading. You can find the link for the description in the comment section and the description box underneath the reading. It's a way to support my work, and I'm very, very grateful. You can also like, subscribe and comment. That's also a way to show me your engagement, which is fantastic. Thank you. So we've got Magician, Page of Swords. Lots of air, mercurial energy coming in here with new ideas, new inspirations, new possibilities. Two of Cups coming in with that Seven of Pentacles there. Partnership opportunities, maybe a little bit of a focus around a specific relationship for some of you. We'll look at that in the extended. Let's have a look at this Three of Swords. Okay, Ten of Wands. Definitely something that you feel a little bit burdened by through this month, but there's going to be solutions and a way through here. There's that Hermit again. Maybe there's a Virgo that we're also dealing with here. Empress coming through again. Of course, Empress links into the sign of Taurus as well. But again, linking to the influence of Venus and how that's changing. Okay, we have card of the Emperor here as well. Formidable team, partnership, marriage, couple, mother, father. You know, with these Three Swords, there's something about the, truth. The truth can hurt sometimes, sometimes when we have to be brutally honest with ourselves, or we have to be brutally honest with someone else. And I feel you just slightly conflicted or holding back because there's something that needs to be said, or you're unsure about the best way to deliver news in some way. King of Swords coming through here. Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra perhaps. There's your card of the High Priestess coming up. Both the Hermit and the High Priestess, very wise teachers to help you through this month of November, Pisces. Major decisions coming in for you though. Really helping to charter a new course over the next couple of years, which feels exciting. Beautiful. Ten of Cups coming in. This should be a month where you start to feel a lot more optimistic about many aspects of your life, Pisces. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. If you'd like to join me for the extended, I look forward to going a little bit deeper into these messages to see what else we can unearth for you. I wish you beautiful, bright blessings for this month of November. Stay in your flow and receive that beautiful fruition, and just look out for all of those things coming in threes for you. All right, Pisces, take good care.